Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Sage Dynamics. This week's questions answered video, why don't you use steel targets in your classes or your videos? Well, that's just not true. I got a steel target right here. We're buddies, we're friends, we get along, we understand each other, we have a symbiotic and reciprocal relationship. No, I do use steel when it's available for certain things, but I'm not a fan of steel for everything. Reason being, paper does keep you honest. I know you don't get that instant feedback, you don't get that cool sound, that knowledge that you just did something that you were supposed to do, you hit the target. Even with the smaller steel targets, it can make people shoot a little looser group-wise than maybe they should or maybe they're capable of, because they hear a hit and they feel like, okay, mission accomplished. Now, you can spray paint them and you can kind of see your hits, and that's fine, but they don't always lend themselves well to some of the fundamentals that we're trying to work on, regardless of what the actual topic of the class is. I got this cool anatomy torso from Red Sticks Targets, and it's got, you know, your somewhat of a T-zone type thing, and then your thoracic vital. And this is something I can use for night vision classes, or I'll use it for longer range engagements where it's impractical to walk back and forth and look at paper throughout an 8 or 16-hour class. For night vision classes, because the night vision class specifically is more about the night vision than it is about the shooting, I expect people to have a certain level of skill set coming into the class as far as the rifle is involved and the handgun, because handgun's part of it too. We're not going to spend as much time worrying about accuracy so long as you're getting good hits. We're not going to go into the minutia of shot groups under night vision, because you can do that on your own time, especially for those of you who already have night vision, you have the ability to use it and ability to shoot with it. But for very specific purposes, yeah, I do use steel. Night vision is a great thing, a great class to use steel for, and so is, like I said, those longer range shoots, but it's not something I'm going to dedicate or try to use across the board for all my classes, especially because I travel a lot. Traveling with these guys is just not an easy thing to do. And most ranges, I should say some ranges, do not have steel on hand for you to use, or their steel is in such a point of disrepair that it would actually be unsafe to have students shoot at it because it's been abused, and we don't want that. So I don't not use steel, I just don't default to steel. Steel is quick and easy, but it's not realistic enough for me, and that's another reason. If you've been to a Sage class or you've watched videos long enough, you know that I'm a big fan, especially when it comes to teaching you three-dimensional targets, because people are three-dimensional. People don't make cool ringy sounds when you shoot them either, which is kind of beside the point, but you're not going to get safe 3 dimensions out of steel targets, and that's another reason why I try to stay away from them for most things. If steel's available, yeah, it's going to get somehow incorporated into the class if possible, but I'm not going to try to rely on it, even though it can make my life easier. I'm personal feeling that some of the artificialities that we have in training are directly because of instructors being lazy. So I'm not going to be lazy and use steel just to avoid trying to be more realistic and trying to give my students the most that I can give them. There's a time and a place for steel, but for me, I'm going to say I'm 90% on paper, 80% on 3-dimensional targets, and the rest of the time, steel fills that small niche that remains. I hope that answers the question. If you have any other questions on this topic or any other topic you'd like to see me do a questions answered video on, drop it in the comments section below. I'm Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics. Train accordingly.